Well, economics really matters because of the way that we organize our society and the way we think about progress in our economies. And we've in in societies all over the world, we've basically made economic growth essentially the number one objective of public policy. And this is what people pursue. People want higher incomes, they want better quality of life, they want opportunities. And we've chosen to design a system which organizes a lot of this, um, a lot of these ideas in terms of markets and in terms of our economies. And so economics is a way of understanding that. It's a way of understanding people, how they behave, how they optimize, what sort of preferences they have, and what decisions they make. And then taking all the individuals and all the agents in our economies, consumers, firms, countries, they all interact in a way which leads to this systemic outcome, which we call the economy. And so economics is really important for helping us understand people in a certain way, and then also understanding the economy. And the question is then, can we engineer the system? Can we actually institute policies which help us achieve certain economic objectives and therefore help people achieve their um, their objectives and what they would want from a good life. So why is economics and why does it matter? Because it matters first because of what I've said, that to understand these things, you need theories, concepts, you need data and evidence, and you need a way of thinking about how to optimize this system, how to increase economic growth, to think about society as a whole, and to think about the ecological foundations on which the economy rests. And economics has provided us the tools to do that, to analyze this very complex system of the economy, but also the very complex nature of human beings and how they make choices. So I think it certainly matters because it influences a lot of the policies that governments institute. It influences the activities and behaviors of firms. And it also affects everyday life, everyday interaction. So it's tremendously important. Um, but it's a framework, it's a way of thinking about all these issues. And I think what we're going to discuss is that there are other ways of thinking about this, that economics is maybe too rigid a framework. And of course, economics doesn't speak with one voice. There's many different economic theories and ideas which have very different takes on how to generate these positive outcomes and how to essentially manage and run an economy. Economics matters because of the way we think about our world, essentially. Uh, it matters in the way we think about ourselves as individuals. Uh, it matters because ultimately we all want to have a better life. And we need to have a system that will generate benefits, that will be able to realize the benefits of technology, of commerce, of interaction, of building our economies, our infrastructures, and selling goods and services to each other. So economics matters because we need a framework for understanding all of that. And then in a second step, we need to design policies and measures that will help to maximize the opportunities of people operating within that system. And we also need to think about the rules of the game that will create a level playing field for people to compete, for firms to compete. And so that we can have the forces of competition generating benefits for people. And markets are a good way of allocating resources in our society. So economics is extremely influential, and more influential perhaps than is often thought. It it often is the dominant philosophy in designing public policies. So it really matters in its influence. And James Carville once said that he didn't necessarily believe in reincarnation, but if he could come back, he'd come back as the bond market, because then he could intimidate everyone. And so economics really does matter, and financial markets, the role of the state, economic performance, all of these things are not minor aspects of life in the 21st century. They're dominant features. And so economics can help give us a handle on these things. And I think the promise of economics is that it actually can make people's lives better. But as we talk about in this conversation, that potential hasn't always been realized.